Alright there guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. And today it's time for Let's Talk about Konosuba Legend of Crimson. That is right. Yesterday I finally watched the Konosuba movie. After its initial release date in August in 2019, about 8 months later, or around eight or so months later, I finally got around to watching it. So, how did I find it? Well, let us, of course, do what we usually do with these videos. Discuss points of the plot. So, the movie starts off with Kazuma, Darkness, Aqua, and Megumin sitting in the bar that they collect quests from. And everybody insulting them. About 5 girls hear that Kazuma's only ability is stealing girls' underwear, which it kind of is, for now. And then they start calling him Scumzuma, which is quite funny. And then out of nowhere, Yun, you know, if Aqua and Megumin didn't exist, then Best Girl, but Aqua and Megumin do exist. But Yun walks straight into the bar, goes up to Kazuma, and says, right, you ready for this? She says, "Kazuma, I want to have your baby." Very random. She just says it out of nowhere, and all Kazuma can think is, "Ooh, this is my popular phase." So Kazuma acts all big and tough in order to make sure Yun keeps believing that he'd actually, well, make a baby with her. Everyone else is confused on why she's asking him to do this out of nowhere, until she gives a letter to Megumin, which is from Yun's dad, about how their home village is under attack. And they even throw in a joke, calling Yun the only Crimson demon survivor. And Megumin's thinking, excuse me, where am I in this? Do they just think I don't exist anymore? So Megumin starts being a tsundere about it, where she does care about the Crimson Village and she does want to help, but she doesn't want it to look like she wants to help. I don't know why. So they go to Wiz's shop in order for her to teleport them to the Crimson Village. Megumin being Megumin, she instantly shoots her explosive magic, and then she needs Kazuma to carry him. So they go down to this small house. Kazuma knocks on the door, and who opens it? None other than Komeko, Megumin's little sister. That, until the trailer of this movie was released, we didn't even know she existed. So she runs over, calling her mom and dad, saying that Megumin's been snared up by a man, making Kazuma sound like even more of a perv than he already sounds like. So when Kazuma introduces himself to Megumin's mom and dad, they think he wants a bit more than just friendship with her, if you know what I mean. So Kazuma has to beg and grovel and say he's sorry to them, which is also quite funny. Then Aqua mentions that Kazuma's rich and that he could give his intelligency pack to Vanilla for 300 million Eris. And he probably should not have said that out loud, but he did, and then says he lives in a mansion, which compared to the very, very small house that Megumin's family live in is a pretty big difference. Then, that night, Megumin's mom and dad are discussing whether discussing should Megumin and Kazuma be a couple. And Darkness is arguing against it. And then Megumin's mom says, but Megumin's legal age for that kind of thing. And I thought, wait a minute, no she isn't. Megumin is 14 years old still, as far as I'm aware. Oh, and so I was like, wait a minute, what's the legal age of marriage in Japan? Searched it up, 18, just like it is everywhere else. And then she uses a sleep spell on Darkness to make her fall asleep, along with Megumin's dad. Aqua just got drunk and passed out. She also used the sleep spell on Komeko. And then she locks Kazuma and Megumin in the same room together. And I kid you not, Kazuma spends about 2 full minutes walking round the futon that Megumin is sleeping in. Coming up with a plan of, should I sleep in the futon with her or should I not? He literally spends 2 full minutes on something that he really didn't need to. So in the end, he gets into the futon next to Megumin. And then she wakes up and sees him right in front of her. So Kazuma tries to sound all cool and saying, "Morning, Megumin." She's not initially freaked out by it. Then she says, "Wait, you didn't do anything to me, did you?" And Kazuma said, "Of course not. Why would I? Oh, well, maybe. Of course you wouldn't." And then Kazuma's thinking, wait, is she actually offering for me to do something to her? And then he says, "Yes, of course we're alone. Of course I'll do something to you if we're alone." So she opens the window and shouts, "I'm going off to Yunyun's for the night," and then runs away. And that hurt Kazuma because not only did he just get rejected by Megumin, but he was feeling some PTSD. What from? Well, I actually forgot to mention that when Wiz teleports them closer to the Crimson Village, a bunch of lady orcs start chasing Kazuma because the lady orcs worked the male orcs so hard that literally no male orcs exist anymore. They're all extinct. So literally about 30 female orcs are just chasing Kazuma. One of them captures him, drags him to the ground, and then they even start ripping his clothes off, literally violating him. So Kazuma was having some PTSD. Surely had some PTSD after that. Not to mention the fact at the very beginning when Yunyun was talking about having babies, Kazuma started to strip right then and there, pulled his own pants down, not knowing what he should really do, so Aqua had to walk up to him and just pull his pants back up. So, in the morning after Megumin had run off to Yunyun's for the night, Megumin, Aqua, and Darkness start calling Kazuma different names, whether it's Trash Zuma, Creep Zuma, and I can't remember what the other one was, but they were all names that made him sound like a pervert. And he said, okay, I swear you're calling me something different. And yes, they are. So afterwards, Megumin, Aqua, and Kazuma go on a tour around the Crimson Village. At all the different landmarks, including a mysterious facility that no one knows who it was built by, when it was built by, and why it was built. Well, actually, they know why it was built. The reason it was built is because it holds the only weapon that can kill the Crimson Demons, which is what Megumin is. So after they're done with that, Kazuma is introduced into more Crimson Demons in the village, whether it's the guy that runs the clothes store who uses a giant rifle as a washing line to hang clothes on. Because this isn't the real world, because this is not the real world and it's Kazuma's isekai world, they don't know what a rifle is. After Kazuma gets more familiar with the locals, a bunch of small goblins attack the village, and a few of the Crimson Demons do make mincemeat of them with all different types of magic. Although they all turn it into one attack called Light of Saber. Come on, that's got to be a Star Wars reference. That has to be a Star Wars reference, Light of Saber. How can it not be? So that gets sorted out pretty easily. Then we go to the next night. And Kazuma is sleeping in the futon with Megumin again. In fact, she even wakes up to him rubbing his hands. Rubbing her hands even. Which he initially finds very creepy. And Kazuma may or may not have frozen the windows shut with ice magic, which he can somehow now use. I don't know how Kazuma gained the ability to use ice magic, but he can. He even taps Megumin on the back of the neck with it, which makes her jump. And she says, "Do you really want me to cling to you that badly?" Then she climbs on top of Kazuma, and he's thinking, yo, is Megumin going up for maybe having you know what with me? That's what Kazuma's thinking. Until there's a siren because the goblins are back. But this time they've come with one of the Demon King's generals. As the Demon King is I guess the main villain of Konosuba, but we've never actually seen him. That still needs to happen. And since it doesn't happen in this movie, maybe we'll have either a second Konosuba movie or a third season. Who knows? Just give us something. Please just give us season 3. Why have we not got one? Like, come on, I get it, like, Isekai Quartet literally just finished. Make season 3 of Konosuba, please. The first 2 seasons were so good. And this general is called Sylvia, who, I remember now, appeared last time the goblins attacked the Crimson Village. Only she didn't really do anything. This time she came, when she came back, she came by herself this time, and Kazuma was pretty angry at her because she had just interrupted Kazuma possibly having sex with Megumin. As illegal as that still sounds to me, who knows? He was very angry at her, and he shouted what is undoubtedly my favourite line in the entire movie. In the name of true gender equality, I will dropkick any rotten woman that deserves it. Because you see, Kazuma believes in true gender equality. If women can hit men, men can hit women. That's how Kazuma works. So he charges straight at her with his sword, and she catches it in between her middle and index fingers and says, "You're not Mitsuguri," who is somebody from the town that Kazuma lives in that he was pretending to be to scare her. And now that and then he just looks up and says, "My name is Saito Kazuma." He says it very, very cautiously as well. He was being super cocky when he was pretending to be Mitsuguri, but now that he doesn't have the Crimson Demons backing him up, he kind of doesn't have a leg to stand on in this situation. So Aqua and Darkness come out to see what's happening. And for some reason Sylvia falls in love with Kazuma. I don't know why. It was very strange. It didn't really make any sense. And Kazuma was thinking, maybe this really is my popular phase. Or my look stat has been kicked into overdrive. That's the two things Kazuma thought out of this. So she grabbed hold of him a second time with these tentacles looking things. And then his head went right in between her boobs. And Sylvia then says to Kazuma that I can understand the love of women and men. And Kazuma says, "Oh really, you can you?" she says, yes. Well, I am partially a man myself. Kazuma looks up at her with a very, very shocked face, like saying like, what? Well, some parts of my body are artificial. Even my boobs, they were added on later. And Kazuma says, and there seems to be something poking my ass. And she says, that's because there is. Yeah, she may have massive tits, but she also has a penis that's currently poking Kazuma right in the ass. And cue more PTSD scenes from Kazuma. So not only had he been traumatized by female orcs ripping his clothes off trying to violate him, he now had been violated a second time by a woman with a penis. Yeah, this movie was not kind to Kazuma. It basically felt like what this movie did to Kazuma is what ReZero does to Subaru. As in, ReZero is like, how can we make Subaru, what can we do to make Subaru suffer? That's what this movie felt like for Kazuma. The movie, how can we make Kazuma traumatized and suffer? And that was the result of those two things. Then Sylvia kidnaps Kazuma, and they go to the strange facility that has the weapon that can kill any and all Crimson Demons, which is called the Mage Killer. And because Kazuma's a massive pussy and knows he's really, really weak, when they get to the door that they need a secret password for, oh dear, they have to input it through an NES-looking controller. And oh, this is hilarious. Kazuma does the password is the Konami code, minus the BA start. I can't remember, is it BA start or is it just BA start? Well, either way, the BA part and the start part, apart from that's gone, but everything else that part of the Konami code was part of the password. Up, up, down, down, left, right, left, right. That was literally the password. And then Kazuma just gave access to one of the Devil King's generals access to the weapon that could wipe out all of the Crimson Demons. Well done, Kazuma. You're still an idiot. So what Kazuma does to try and stop Sylvia is up, down, left, right, again, to shut the door, uses the same, because it's the same password to shut the door that it is to open it. So Darkness, Aqua, and Megumin finally catch up. And Kazuma says, oh, I just trapped her in there. Yeah, that doesn't quite work because Sylvia destroys the facility. And not only that, the mage killer ability transforms her into, I don't really know, she turns into like a giant slug type creature, but keeps the top of her body, i.e. boobs, stomach, head, etc., the higher parts of her body as normal. So then it's a full-out war between the Crimson Demons and Sylvia. And a few of the students from the academy Megumin and Yunyun went to when they were younger who we met earlier in the movie, are quite scared because they don't know what's happening. So then Yun Yun starts being very, very useful, showing us why she's still a worthy character despite she loses to Megumin in literally everything. Of course, no matter what everyone throws at Sylvia, she just keeps on coming back. So, everyone has to start running away from her, and they're terrified while doing so. But then they come up with a plan, and the plan is to get the rifle that was seen at the clothes store earlier in the movie and shoot Sylvia with it. They get it ready, aim it at Sylvia's face, and pull the trigger, but it doesn't fire. And just as Sylvia is shooting slime at a slime waterfall at them, just in time, just barely in time to save them, is Wiz, as she uses ice magic to freeze it over to create what looks like a Flushed Away reference. If you remember right at the end of Flushed Away, when the giant wave was coming towards everybody. But Roddy and Rita put the ice onto the water and hope it would freeze it just in time before it flushed everybody away. That's basically what happened. So then Megumin uses her explosion magic, and that's what ends up that's what powers up the rifle. So Kazuma said, just before shooting it, Kazuma says, "I am Saito Cat," and then Komiko just presses the trigger and shoots Sylvia in the face. And then you think, there it is. Wiz was about to get. Wiz could have just died, but we saved her, and Sylvia's dead. Except that's not it, because the other two generals that had been previously killed in seasons 1 and 2 of Konosuba, the guy who carries his helmet around, which is his head, and another guy. Yeah, and another guy. And they basically come back to life and get revived, along with Sylvia. And then they all merge into this one being. So Wiz decides to start to create what looks like a spirit bomb. Literally, the way she does this generally looks like she's creating a spirit bomb, as she goes like this with her hands with a ball of energy. And what makes it even more like a reference to the spirit bomb, all the Crimson Demons put their power and energy into the spirit bomb, or as what looks like the spirit bomb. Then Wiz throws it at Yun Yun and Megumin, so then they can use their full power of advanced magic, and they destroy all three, Sylvia and the other two generals, all in one go. And they save the Crimson Village. But not only that, Kazuma was actually nestled between Sylvia's tits again, as he went over to increase his look as much as possible to make Sylvia drop her guard. So the beam of energy that Megumin and Yun Yun shot would go straight through Kazuma and Sylvia, killing both of them. So Kazuma had to be revived. And then they make their way home. Aqua and Darkness are setting up a picnic, and Megumin says that she wants to seal away her explosive magic because she wants to learn advanced magic to become the greatest Crimson Demon of all time, since her potential of advanced magic is even higher than Yun Yun's. But Kazuma says, use explosive magic one more time, because you haven't had your daily fix of it today. So then, Megumin uses her explosion, and it ends up being bigger than normal. And so that's what made Megumin decide, right, it's time for me to learn. Well, not learn, but master explosion magic. And that is where the movie ends. So, what did I like about this movie? Well, first of all, incredibly funny. Just like the first two seasons and 2 OVAs of Konosuba, incredibly funny. This movie allowed Yun Yun to shine a lot more than she has been able to in the 2 seasons so far. So that was a nice change, getting to see Yun Yun actually show us what she's capable of. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of Wiz. We only really see her at the very start and the very end of the movie, and that's kind of it. But she does play a very important part in killing Sylvia, because the ball of energy that all the Crimson Demons put their energy into, Wiz was the one that threw it to Megumin and Yun Yun. Seeing Kazuma getting violated and then having a dick in his ass, PTSD and hilarious. And the fact that the Devil King had absolutely no part in this movie means, hopefully, there's still way more to come for Konosuba, since the Devil King is still alive. As I said earlier, whether it's a second movie or a third season, I don't care. I just want one of them. I just want something from Konosuba. Now, is it the best anime movie I've ever watched? I'm not too sure. It is up there. It was really good. I've definitely never laughed at an anime movie as hard as I did with this one. even though there were quite a few parts of the My Hero Academia Heroes Rising movie that were quite funny, that I watched just over a month ago, but I'd say this movie was funnier. So, that's good. That is going to be it for this video. If you guys have enjoyed, then please be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, follow me on all my social medias. If you guys have not watched this movie yet, if you are able to, please, you should check it out. Especially if you're a fan of Konosuba, you definitely will want to check it out then. It is an hour and a half long, so pretty standard nowadays for an anime movie. And until next time, guys, catch you later.